Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Valagar Aloevain, back for some more Dungeons & Dragons Online. Alright, so for this quest here, we are back out in Necropolis, and we are going to do the final part of the Chain 3. So in order to do this, you do need to complete all 4 of the outside ones, turn in the quests, and then you'll be able to talk to Sir Pythus the Radiant, and he will bestow the quest on you here. It's just like the Chain 1 and Chain 2, where you complete all 4 outside, then it allows you access to the inner one, at which point, once you complete it, you have to rerun all the outside ones in order to rerun that center one. So for this quest in particular, it is actually a timed quest. And because of that fact, it's one that is typically not run too often. Besides the time factor, they also have a kill fewer than factor as well. So we're not actually seeing it right now, but we're going to get that right away. So it does give you a plethora of time, as you see 59, 50, so essentially 1 hour, which the quest itself shouldn't take anywhere near that amount of time. So as soon as we talk to him, we have the optional to not kill more than 5, so that is mandatory, but we also receive the optional to rescue 5 of them as well. So because of the fact that you don't want to kill specific enemies, it is obviously very difficult if you have AoE type attacks. So just make sure that you have as few AoE attacks as possible. Fortunately for myself, all I have is the one there from my weapon, which is that meteoric star. Alright, so once you enter into this main room here, as you see, we have a bunch of skeletons that will spawn. They spawn when you approach their spawn location. I think we got most of them. And yeah, so I just recommend killing them off right at the beginning. They do respawn eventually, but it's just easier to deal with the first wave right away. You can use the turret, as this area is fairly safe. So next we're going to head off to the western side.
A lost soul,
and we're going to head straight down here. Now it's going to bring up to find our jeweled key. And you want to approach the door and have these specters spawn in. They're going to let you know, hey, we're prisoners, find the key, yada yada yada. But you got to make sure you approach the door here to get them to spawn in, at which time they are going to take off. So we're going to continue on this side here first. And why you need them is they're the ones who are opening these gates. Without them, you cannot continue. Alright, so we got that gate open. Now we're going to continue north. And this is just a shrine. It's behind this door. So I do want to open that up, as later on, right from that floor, you might break the floor and fall down here. That way at least we have the shrine open and active. Alright, so if you're not heading over there to open the shrine, you're going to want to continue west. Through more undead, of course. To this point, you don't have to worry about the silver flame. There are very few specific locations where you actually gotta deal with them and worry about them, which I will point out when we get to those locations. Alright, so as you can see, obvious door here, but we can't open it. To open the door, we need to approach the shrine, which will spawn in a bunch of enemies. Again, AoE is still okay at this point. Alright. So once you kill the specific named guy there, which was the bone guy, I don't remember exactly what his name was, then this door here will open, allowing you to continue deeper in. Now is where we're getting to the actual living people, though still not the silver flame that we gotta worry about. So just continue south and west. Alright, so again, as you can see, we can circle around. We don't actually want to go this way just yet. We want to head south. Alright, so when you arrive at these long hall rooms, they have several doors, both on both sides of the hall. And inside these doors, there can be some of the silver flames. So you do got to be careful in this section here. On top of that, if you approach these rooms, in one of them, either on the western side or the eastern side where the other specter ran off, that is where the jeweled key is. So we are going to have to open up these levers. So here's some of these silver flame that you don't want to kill. So it does become a little bit difficult when you got a few of them running around. I am actually going to take off my glasses here. That way, when they hit me, they don't insta-kill themselves. Now, you don't have to worry too much as though they won't rubber band in this room, you don't gotta worry about them following you for the rest of the quest, as they do eventually rubber band. Oh. There's a chest in here. I did not see that earlier. There we go. So there's our key. So at this point, you can continue to open up these doors. You may end up running into more silver flame guys that you're not allowed to kill. You may also run into these guys here, which are unconscious. All you gotta do is talk to them, and it will provide you with them there. Silver flame. So you gotta make sure that you're not killing any of these guys here. We are now at a few of them, so I think I'm going to actually leave this section for now, as obviously we don't want to draw any attention to them, and the one there is a champion, so yeah, there's nobody there. Alright, so you know what? We actually almost got them all killed. Oh, hey, the festival has started. Cool. So while you're doing this, I highly recommend using your tab function to actually target these enemies, just to avoid targeting anyone who has Silver Flame in their name. Alright, so now that we have the key, I do believe we can. Are you gonna still follow us? Ooh, that hurt a lot. Alright. So what we're going to want to do here is you do want to head over to this section, and we will be able to make our way inside here.
Is trapped within rings of Maldetto's powerful, will-breaking magic.
And you want to kill everybody in the room here. At which point it will free them here. Though we won't be able to completely let them out. Oh, there they go. Until we take this key and we actually head back towards the start. Alright. So yeah, essentially once you receive the key, it does change what side it is on. Again, either west or eastern side. But once you receive the key, you are going to have to come over to this room here, which is where you spawn the specters in the first place. And we will have to come inside here. Now, inside here, there are no Silver Flame that you gotta worry about. We just gotta kill that Brimstone Gatekeeper. And that will fully free the specters, allowing, again, them to assist. So just head on inside here. They're gonna head out throughout the quest, and they'll be able to open up these various doors that we need. Alright, so since we're still on this side, we then want to head back to where that blue barrier was. And again, you want to head to the blue barrier once you've gone through and cleared. So if you've checked out the room to our south right here, and you did not receive the jeweled key, you would then have to make your way to the beginning of the quest, head on to the western side to the identical room that looks like this, and you'll have to go through that room to find the key. once you find the key, you would then head back over to the western side to where the specters were, unlock that, and free the specters there. At that point, you will be able to go through these blue barriers. You just need to approach them. It's going to spawn in, and it'll say it's going to allow us entry. Now, we do got to be careful. I'm actually going to give myself another death ward here. So we're just about out. Now, we do got to be careful inside here. It's going to teleport you in, which locks you inside here. Now, as you see, we have a vampire, and then 4 silver flame individuals. Now, again, this is where it gets a little rough because obviously you can't use any type of crowd control. Or, well, you can use like hold person mass, charm, that kind of thing. Charm is dangerous because obviously then they will be attacking the vampire and may end up dying to the other enemies. So honestly, it is best, and the best technique that I've seen is to head over to the opposite side where they're located, and this is where your party kind of sits. You then have one individual who is able to cast invisibility on themselves. You want them to creep up to spawn in the vampire. So once you start talking, he spawned in, at which point you back up. If you do it well, a lot of times they do not see where you are, making it a little easier. Unfortunately, they did spot me, and with the new changes to the way the aggro system works, it is very hard to be able to pull that one off now. And he is a vampire, so silver weapons obviously will do its fair amount of damage to him. And as soon as... Unfortunately, that just killed one of them. Once he dies, it will pacify them. I'm a little sad that we had one die, but unfortunately there's not much I can do about that. Alright, so we've now pacified the western side. At this point we want to head back to the beginning, and we want to do the same on the eastern side. So we want to go through the blue barrier, and we want to actually clear and save that side. Now, why I was really hoping not to kill anybody at all is there's actually an optional chest at the end which you receive if you rescue all the Silver Flame officers and you don't kill a single individual. So unfortunately I won't be able to show you guys that chest, as we do have a death due to our meteoritic strike. So here's that respawn as I was mentioning earlier. Alright. So this side does look fairly similar. It's kind of almost a carbon copy, but it does lead to this side quite a bit faster. But again, it's very similar in the way it's set up. And like before, we typically have a few individuals kind of perusing the center hall. You will also have at the very end here, on the north side, an actual continuation on the path. This is where we're going to run into the eastern altar and have that guy spawn in, which I cast that way too early. So you want to approach the altar. Again, there they are. And just like before, kill everybody, our door opens up. Now again, at this point we are going to have some enemies spawning along the path, leading up to, again, our blue barrier. So just like before, you want to approach, it'll port you inside, and this time, same thing, same vampire too. He's basically a projection, and same group of enemies. So again, we're going to try that method. Going to walk up, get his attention, and back up as far as we can there. So again, it didn't actually... Ooh, that wasn't good. So that time, luckily, we were able to save them. So this side is technically completed. So I will be still going in and going to these rooms to rescue the other Silver Flame individuals. But again, that is an optional step, one that is not required in order to complete. Once you find the key, honestly, you don't have to open up any more rooms. And at times you can target the items behind the doors, though I have found out that it doesn't always work. Sometimes you gotta press yourself right up against it. Other times, even when you're pressed, it doesn't work. But checking from the sides here, I find works more often. So there we were able to see the cabinet. We poke our head right inside the door. We're not seeing the cabinet unless we look to our side. So it's not foolproof, but it can sometimes help in order to find the chest that you're looking for. One super handy spell to have in here, especially if you have someone with the DC to cast it, is Disco Ball. It makes it so nice. Ooh, and we were seeing a Silver Flame officer in here. Two of them. There we go. So there they are. As you see, about 900 experience. Overly not worth it. And again, like the other side, we do have a shrine here. And again, this has a well, it'll be a breakaway roof at this part. which would be right here. So at some point you may fall down and end up in this section here. Alright, so once you've defeated both of Maldeto's his projections, you actually want to head back again to the very, very start of the quest, to that first room that we entered in with all the respawning skeletons. So this one here. And once we've killed both projections, it opens up this door here. So if you look above the door, we've got a couple of skulls. That opens up here. And in here we're going to actually have a giant ramp. Now as you see right to the right of us, we do have a control box. Now the ramp itself is kind of trapped. The trap on the ramp is it shoots out an oil slick, making it super hard to run up and more annoying than anything. Now there are a couple of ways to solve that. One being if you have any type of fire type spell, you can set it ablaze and it'll burn it away. Or you can, freedom of movement, run past it. Or you can just wait until it disappears. Once you reach the top, you can either head east or west. Both sides lead to the same room, so it really doesn't make a difference. It just comes around the corner, lever, and here you are in this room. Now in this room here, you're going to want to head up the main ramp. And again, we have a few skulls ahead of us.
3 small burning skulls flank
These
a
3.
larger one. While their flames burn, Maldeto's chamber is sealed.
And essentially, what you want to do is you want to proceed either east or west. We'll go west again. And you want to head up top. Now from here, we will be able to continue off on the side. Now I want to point out right here that we do have a random chest. The chest itself is not trapped, however that floor is. So we do have a control box right outside, which will disable the breakaway floor, allowing you to actually proceed up and collect the chest. If, however, you do not disable that trap, then you will not be able to progress, as the floor will break. You'll fall down to where those shrines were. And then you'll just have to run all the way back up here, and again, in a timed style quest, you definitely don't want to be rushed. At this point, once we head down, we can head off in 2 directions. So I'm going to start by heading further west. And as you can see, again, another trap. Now, like before, it is a breakaway floor, so just go ahead and grab that trap. That way we don't have to worry about floors breaking out and having to run all the way back. So as you can see the little cutoff bit there, and again, it's right above the door, so it just makes it safer. Alright, so we're going to continue down the tunnel until we get to this room here.
Narrow bone walkways.
Now these types of rooms can actually be a little bit of a pain if you are doing it solo, as there's one that has a few levers that are timed. As you see, once you arrive in there, it does spawn in some twisted souls, which are just a different variant of a specter. Now they spawn in start spawning as soon as you step in. It does take a moment, so if you do want to wait, it is highly recommended, as there are traps in here as well. Now the traps are along these straight walls, so having to both fight the enemies and deal with the trap can sometimes be difficult. The traps do have boxes, but I do believe they're on the other side of the trap. Oh, no, they are not. So here we are. We're going to run. It's going to be the same thing on this side here as well. So now for the altar here itself, it's going to spawn in another Brimstone Gatekeeper. Just kill them, it drops the barrier, now we can use the altar. So that is one of the three. So we're going to head back out. And as you can see, this is one of those chambers there from before that had his projection. If we step on the green floor, for undead, so the enemies, you will be able to walk across. If, however, you are not undead, and for basically if you're a player or a hireling character, you will fall through that floor. If you are an NPC enemy, you will not. Alright, so you're going to want to progress back until we get to this one. Now we do want to head south and complete this side here as well. So here we are again, same thing, more twisted souls, and again I do recommend killing them before you get in. It just makes it easier. At least I find it easier. Alright. This one here also has 2 levers. Now these levers do need to be pulled at approximately the same time. So I am just going to use my hireling just to make it easier on myself. It is obviously easiest if you have full party. So then you can have one person at each lever and then one person at the gate here. So what happens is, and I'm actually going to use the dog here just to make it that much easier on myself. Once you pull them, it will open up the gate. Each lever attributes to a singular gate. So if you look carefully, there are actually 2 gates, which you'll see when I start pulling them. Alright. So here we are. So we're going to pull the first one. So as you see, one of the gates went down. You want the other one. The other one went down. And then you're going to want to sneak inside. As you can see, it does have a fairly decent timer on them. Enough time that... maybe they changed it. Oh, there you go. So yeah, enough time that you would technically be able to pull it, run to the next one, pull it, run to the end, and actually get into the room. Here, again, kill the skelly, touch the altar, and then you can use the lever, which will open up both of them. And there we go. This side is now done. All we have left is one more skull, which we will find on the eastern side. So now it's going to be back up the stairs, off to our right to the main hall here, and simply just make our way over to the east side. So as you can see, those 2 are down. Alright, here we go. Now this one here, it is a little bit harder to get back up out of. As you can see, another obvious broken floor, which will again drop us down off with those shrines. So I definitely recommend doing this with some sort of a trapper in the party, as it's just really, really annoying having to constantly run back from the lower floors all the way up here, and definitely can kill your time, as it is a timed quest. So this one here is a little annoying. As you can see, it is a fairly high wall to get back out, and it is set up much like the first one that we had, where we're going to enter. It's going to spawn in these guys. They'll spawn in once you step on like this section here. then again, we're going to have a few traps along our wall here. Or we're not going to. Okay. Well, you can have traps along this wall. Yeah, got this one. So, just like the other ones, just be safe and, you know, make sure you check, as it definitely sucks to run into them. So again, Brimstone Gatekeeper. Which unlocks our altar.
The final altar burned cold
And
as it
that
melted
is now our
tears of
third.
red.
At this point,
Now
it
that
will
the
allow
chamber
us
was open.
to proceed to the actual end room. Now, there are a couple of ways out of here. Obviously, you can drop down and head out the door that way. If, however, you happen to have a decent amount of jump, you can actually jump up onto this section right here and then jump over the wall. So you got to kind of go not right at it. It is a little bit harder, but this corner right here and then up and over. Alright, so I'm just gonna dismiss that guy. Call in our hireling. So, like the other two times where we had to fight the projections, there will be some silver flame technically enemies that we're not supposed to kill, and they will be located down here as well. They also, as you see, have a set of shrines. So I do highly recommend using the shrines before you go in, just to make sure that, you know, you're as prepared as you possibly can be for this upcoming fight. So there we are. I'm gonna give myself another one of these. Silver weapons. And there we go. Now, there is a bit of a trick. As you can see, right from here, we can actually see the silver flame individuals. So the safe spot to this one is actually to face the south. Basically, the spot you hop in on, and just face that way and just kind of push against the wall. Once you drop down the shaft, you're going to be able to back up further against this back wall here. And yeah, at this point you want to just take out the vampire as fast as possible. You have several enemies in here, so you got the wolves from the vampire. You'll also have some twisted souls. And then of course, silver flame. And there we go. So once that drops, what you would do is you would then go click on the black prophecy here, and that will complete your quest. Now we can select our altar here, and if you happen to have that silver flame talisman from the other quest, you will now upgrade it to a level 11, which has a protection from evil, negative energy absorption, and that's as far as you can progress it through in the quest themselves. The last part is actually located inside of a raid. So yeah, it is a little bit annoying because you do have to end up doing a raid for that. As well, once you complete, you will be able to talk to this Silver Flame Commander. So you'll be able to talk to him, and he lets you know that, hey, you've rescued a whole bunch of people, and it's a shame that so many had to be sacrificed. If, however, you did not kill any of the Silver Flame at all, he thanks you even more, and he actually gives you another chest of loot at the end. So it is kind of difficult to get that second chest, as again, you got to make sure that you don't kill anybody. Alright, so at this point, we've now completed Necro 3. Like the other two before, with all the scarabs that we've been collecting, we can now use these at the Stone of Change, which is located just outside the Market Bank, and be able to create the dust. Now, I've gone ahead and done that already for you guys, so you don't gotta watch me run there, run back. So we'll just be able to turn them in. So let's hop on our horse and head on over there. I can show you just what you can get for turning them in as well. So here we have the guy for our Cursed Crypt. Just standard rewards. Then we're going to want to head over into the camp here. And we have Squire Rail, who is the Scarab Collector. So then we just let him know that we have some dust. And the one for chain 3 is the third one on the list, which is the Eerie Scarab Powder. So there are 4 items. So what I'll do here is, again, I will just select all 4. And then we can go and actually look at the items there. Alright, so the first one here is the Ghostbane Longbow, which is a min level 6 with Ghost Touch, Undead Bane. Honestly, nothing super special about this bow. It's a fairly low level undead killer, but again, with all the new stuff in the game, it's not too important. Then we have the Dolorance Seal, which is a large seal, which actually isn't too bad for a healer style character, as it gives you, increased turning, increased amounts of turns, devotion, and radiance on a large shield, so it actually isn't too terrible, and it's only a min-level 10 on that item. Then we have a couple of trinkets. We have this one here, which is Undead Guard and Faith, giving you an actual damage reduction to your character. Then lastly, we have the Benign Breath, which gives you Magi and Universal Spell Power, and increases damage of your 9th level and lower by 40%. Now, honestly, I don't think it works like that, where it increases it like that. I'm not too sure what it's actually been changed to, but I'm almost certain that it no longer gives the 40%, as that was just an old method that has yet to be updated. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope it was informative, and I hope that it helps you get through that quest with a little less, a lot fewer issues. Anyway, again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys later. Have a good one, all.